Last time I built this amazing metal farm that produces iron and gold and zinc and copper and electrum, all just from tuff, which is diorite and andesite and a bit of lava. But unfortunately, all of these metals are just being stored in here because there's nowhere for them to go. So that's today's plan, which means heading out of my mine through my little hallways that are still not decorated yet. Live stream coming up very soon in order to do that. In fact, we might even see the results of that in this episode. And back up here on the surface is exactly where we're going to be building. And daylight. It's been so long since I've been able to see this. Where's the sun gone? Huh. Well, it's been a while, okay? Gee, so far up here we've got a tavern, we've got a chocolate factory, and looking at my little plan, we also need to build a shop, a store, a station, and fix the mine shaft. So there's not too much left to do. Now, the shop and the station can wait. Today we're going to be building a storehouse, and it's all going to be built around our elevator, which goes down the mine. The idea is our little train's going to come along here, pull along to the side of the storehouse, drop off all of the goods, and then I'll store it. So that means we need some sort of structure that's big enough to hold this little mineshaft elevator thing, as well as a reasonable sized storeroom, and with room to then get those items out of the storeroom and over to the station whenever I build the station later on. So I might as well get cracking, and the first thing I'm going to do is move this track around so it's not exactly where I need to start building. Just like that. A nice big old loop for the train to go round, which means it no longer needs any of this stuff in the middle, so I can get rid of all of this, and then I can do the most important thing that needs to be done when planning out a new build, and that is, of course, to name my canary. I asked you guys for names for this canary a little while ago, and I got quite a lot of names for them. And the name with the most likes in my comments was Barmut or Fizban, which apparently has got something to do with Dungeons and Dragons, and I know nothing about that, so I'm going to call this bird Tweety, which was the comment with the next number of likes that had the name of the bird in it. Jeez, Tweety, welcome to the mines. I kind of want a cage for you rather than this crazy little box, and I think I'd like to put them somewhere on show in my nicely decorated... Oh yeah, I'm going to have to wait till my mine's decorated before I move them around, so I guess you're going to stay in your little box for now while I start working on this storeroom. How hard could it be? What could possibly go wrong? And spinning around onto a creative copy of this world, some time ago I actually started planning out a build for this, and it's the most beautiful build you will have ever seen. The best work I've... It's an ugly. It's so awful. It's awful. What was I thinking? I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking these pictures here, and I didn't really do a very good job of making those pictures look like any form of reality. The problem with this is it's a big square box, and big square boxes are ugly. It's also, I think, too close to this building here. The storage or drop-off point here doesn't really have anything going on with it, and this girder system over here, whilst I quite like the rope being tied up as if it's like pulleys going around these flywheels, I don't like it at all. But we are going to be going with something sort of kind of vaguely similar. A tall building, but not one that's actually over the mine shaft. We're going to move the whole thing over this way a bit towards this hill so that we've got plenty of space near the other things so it doesn't feel quite so cramped. That's my plan. I've no idea how it's going to turn out. I have no clue what to do for any of this junk, so I just guess we'll see how we get on. Now, in order to make sure that this build that we're going to be building is in keeping with the design and the theme of the other buildings in this area, I'm going to be using the same materials as the other buildings in this area. And seeing so that we're starting over in this direction, I think a foundation in place would be a good start. So let's first of all plan out a little area around our thing. Yeah, the thing there. And we need it big enough to be able to walk around on the inside, so it probably wants to be bigger than that. So that 13 by 13 box should do with that. We can put a floor in there, we can disguise all of that underneath, so that leaves us this amount of room for the rest of the building, and bringing it this far is going to be way too big. But I think that sort of size at this end should do. So that means the overall footprint for this building is going to be something like that, and that gives us plenty of room down the side to get our train lined up with it so that it can drop things off. But I'm not 100% sure that I like it raised. I really like the fact that the other buildings are raised because you can see what's going on underneath them. But if this one's raised, that's going to cause some problems for the train. Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of all of these fences now. Great. And a few stripped dark oak logs later, I think a basic sort of frame shape like this should be a good starting point for us. So I'm imagining sort of a sloped roof here where the train's going to come underneath for a little bit of cover. Maybe another sloped roof at the back here coming up here for our little, I guess, like outside story area. The main bulk of the storage inside this point, a little access area here, maybe some sort of framework on top of that, I'm not sure yet, and then just a big old box around our elevator thing. So the next thing I'm going to do is throw in a whole bunch of the spruce variants in between those dark oak planks so that we can get some sort of idea of what this is going to look like, and then I can start fiddling with it to make things stick out and look nice and give it some depth and things. Which means I'm going to need a whole bunch more stripped spruce logs so that I can make more of the edge strip spruce, and while I'm in here waiting for a whole bunch of those to get stripped, I'm going to get my one and only name tag, take it to my anvil, where's my anvil? Do I even have an anvil? Surely I've got an anvil. Ah, there we go. And call that name tag Tweety so that I can click on my little canary and give him an official name. There you go. No, not again. No, we're not playing this game because you disappeared last time. No. You stay in there. That's your hole blocks thing that you live in. My worms are all coming out really well today. Words. That's what I said. And just like on all of the other builds we've done in this area, I'm just putting this edge strip spruce next to the dark oak logs. And now that all of those are in where I think they need to go... Oh, geez, look, I've done one sideways. Moron. And now that all of those are in where I think those need to go, I'm going to use a combination of vertical spruce planks, thin spruce planks, and polished spruce planks to fill in the gaps in the middle with my trowel. And then I don't have to worry about trying to organise the randomness myself. It'll just place them randomly. And now that all of those are in, we've got a big old bunch of boxes that looks almost as ugly as the one I had in my test world. So I guess that means we're on the right track. Right? We need some detail on this. We need some interesting things going on. We need lips, we need edges, we need windows, we need all sorts of stuff. I guess the best place to start would probably be with the entrance, which I'm going to assume is going to be here for some reason. I don't know why the entrance would be here, but it is. That's where the entrance is now. That makes sense to me. Which means this building probably would benefit from at least a couple of windows on the edges here so that, you know, you can see in or out, and maybe even a bigger window at the back on this side. Now, this area here, I was going to have as the collection, but I think what I might have is just a big old window running along there so you can see the train coming through, but all of the collection from the train I think we're going to have happening over at this point, which probably means that this little bit which is going to have the overhang on it needs to come back a bit further this way. We'll grab the train later on, measure out where all that needs to be, and then we can sort that bit out later. For now though, I'm going to grab some of my spruce plank roofy things and I'm going to attempt, how did I do it over there? Yeah, to do something similar to that and bring that up towards here, sort of a bit. That could work, but I kind of feel it's a little bit steep off the edge. We'll have to see how it looks as the train comes past next time, but I'm kind of thinking I might want to actually replace that with dark oak slabs, but I need to wait for the train now. Come on. Come on, little train, I need to see where your clearance is. Let's just put some slabs across here just to sort of get an idea for that. Is that too low? It is too low, which means that's just about right. Huh, I don't like it. I really don't like it. But it is the right height. I've got some work to do. I think the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of these sticky outy dark oak bits here and replace those with girders instead, and also have those girders running all the way along this way. However, I think they also need to be a block further up in order for us to get the right angle on this roof bit. So then if we had the girders running along this way instead, stop. Something like that. So now that that roof's gone, what I'm thinking is just basically something as simple as that. So there's still a little bit of an edge on it, or a little bit of a slope, should I say. Now obviously this is going to need texturing with different variations of dark oak planks, but for now we'll just see how we get on with that. We'll join that bit there so that doesn't look so weird. Putting a copycat half panel lip on it doesn't seem too bad. I kind of think that finishes it off nicely around the girders there, and I think that looks a lot better than it did with the slope roofs, which gives us this nice sort of area for the train to start running through. But what I want to do now is actually raise up where this dark oak beam is coming across here so that I can make this window nice and big so that we can properly see the train as that's coming through. Something a little bit like that, and I might even run another set of girders along the top of this window point here as well to give it that more industrial feel there. And I might replace, no I can't replace those with girders because that's part of the structure of the main building, so maybe I'll just bring those down into the corners there instead. I don't think that's too bad. I'm going to use some copycat steps there to give ourselves a little bit of a windowsill, and then it just needs the windows in there, and I don't think that's too bad at all. Considering this is obviously going to be continued down to this point here where the loading bay is as well, I think that's fine. So, let's stick the windows in and see how this is all starting to look. It feels a little bit noisy on the inside, but let's have a look on the outside and check that out. What does it feel like? It's still quite noisy on the outside as well, but I think it's okay, although I might go for, instead of the 4-pane windows, the single-pane windows on these ones and see how we get on with those. Back to making stuff. Windows are made from sticks and glass, and then you just stick in the block of your choice and hey presto, you got a whole bunch of windows. Well, I don't know if these are going to be much better, considering I feel like they're all going to join together and just be one giant window, which is not really what I wanted to go for down here, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not awful, but it does look a little bit more modern than what I want in this area. So what I'm going to do is double up these windows to make half window panes and try a bunch of half windows instead and see if that's a little bit less noisy. Yes, it is a lot less noisy. However, what I'm also thinking is, what if we got rid of that top row there and just shoved in a bunch of the square ones at the top? Is that going to look weird, or is it going to look okay? I kind of like it. I think that works. So now I've just got to do the rest of the building, and I'm going to do that as a time lapse. And there we go, we now have the Fox Mine Reserve, which is pretty much done on the outside. I think I'm relatively happy with it. It is a bit plain in places, but overall I think it's got detail, it's got shape, it's got all of those little bits and bobs that I like to do just to give it a little bit of life. And even under here, I've added in a little bit of sort of rough and ready barrel-y storagey stuff where the train's going to be offloading all of its items to. Inside there's not a great deal to shout about. I've put in a second floor, I've put in a floor down here, I've built a gantry around our elevator and put a little switch on the wall to be able to call it to this level, and I've also put in this little gantry platform that comes all the way around the main area through into the second floor, which has got absolutely nothing in it at all. So I guess we should probably consider filling it up. And this building's not the only thing that's happened since I last spoke to you. My live stream has been and gone, which means that I spend a whole 2 hours working on the mine shaft, trying to keep it nice and simple because there's a whole bunch of work to do. But as we travel down here now, you can see we've got beams going across, fences, bits of rope, and a whole bunch of cobble, lanterns and andesite. And this goes all the way down to around about this point here. That's as far as it goes, and I've still got an awfully long way to go to finish it off. And yeah, that took a whole 2 hours just to get to there, so I imagine there's going to be more live streams coming on dealing with all that sort of stuff. But for now, I need to take this train back to the surface, give it back to this driver, and then I need to give the driver back this schedule to get him back running round it again. But before we do that, I actually need to take it away from you again, sir, because I actually need to go and line up where we're going to be dropping off all of the items at our new storage area. And I'd kind of like it to come in the other way. Okay, coming into this point here then, I want these two little carriagey bits to line up ideally with my little storage area, and I've no idea if it's big enough. It is! Yeah, this one can come back a little bit more and then they'll both be in there. That's good. A little bit more to around about that point there, and that's going to give us plenty of room to access the little storage interfaces off there to get all of the goodness out and put it into the storage system that I haven't built yet. So that means I'm going to need a portable storage interface probably around about that point there, and another one probably around about that point there in order to connect to both of those at the same time. And then I just need a new train station where the train can come up to and connect with in order to park here. And I think it needs to go there, or it might be there. Approach the station so it snaps into place. And yes, that's perfect. Excellent. I guess we can hide this behind here for now. And I'm going to call this station storage drop-off. And now I can adjust this schedule so that we can travel to station storage drop-off. And it's going to stay there until there's 5 seconds worth of cargo in activity, and then it can carry on doing whatever it does. Excellent. Right, you just need your driver back, train. Sir, your carriage awaits.
I don't want it. I hate driving that train. It's boring.
Oh, shut up. Everyone loves driving trains. What's wrong with you? Get on that train, take your schedule, and clear off and go do something useful. You moron. And while he's off doing that, I can think about how we're going to unload all of these items and where they're going to go into. I'm thinking of this being a little entrance area here. I kind of want to have some sort of control system here. I don't know what it's going to control, but that's what I want. And I kind of want to have a big display board in this area here, displaying all of the items that we've got, which realistically only leads upstairs left to actually have all of the items that are stored, which is a bit of a weird thing to do considering, well, why would you have them upstairs? So the display board then, if we just create a frame out of these for now, we'll give ourselves a little bit of room to get around it to one side. Then we can have a display board filling up that entire thing there like that. For this, all I need to do is get rid of one of those, grab myself a cog, break a hole in the floor, put a cog there and another cog there, and then if I put one of those on there, that's going to disguise that, and that means this can be powered. And obviously we're going to need power to get these things out of here and get them upstairs. He's back! Did you bring anything good? Oh, I haven't told him to pick up the zinc and stuff yet. He's not going to bring back anything good. Now at this point here, I could be really lazy and just have both of those going straight into a storage network and then just transferring the items through the network where I want them. But that seems a little bit lazy and a little bit uninteresting. So what I think I'm going to do is use belts to create a little conveyor system that's going to take them up there through the roof. So we're going to need a belt coming out of the back of this one, just a little bit like that, I think, and then transferring onto something this way. We need to avoid that beam there. And then I guess probably around about this point here, we can start going up, and if we connect that one there, that actually comes all the way back to this point over here. And then for this one, it's going to be slightly more complicated because I also want it to go through that roof as well. So I can either have a belt coming across this way and then going up there, or I could bring it back towards the other one a little bit and maybe have two belts going up there. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. And then once we got some power into these and we know where all of that needs to go, then I can create some structure around it and underneath it as well. Obviously, at the top up here, we're going to need holes in the walls to bring these through. And these are basically just going to be very short little belts that bring them through into here, and then we can just send them straight into a storage interface on the inside. So if we stick a controller in at that point there, we can get rid of that and put some trim in here instead. Now all I need to decide is where we're actually going to have the storage box. Now, as I mentioned before, at some point in the future, I also want these items to be able to be taken away and moved onto a train to transport them to other areas of the world. So I need to be conscious exactly where I put this storage system so that then we can get items back out again onto a different train that's then going to take them to the train station that's going to be over here and then off somewhere else. And I think it would make sense for the items that are in there to come back out of here down this side and go out this way, which means that we probably want our storage boxes on this side of the wall to make that easy, but with a couple of blocks spare before the wall so we've got room behind them to do things. So let's just grab some more of this storage trim and bring that along at this point here, and then I'm just going to stick a whole bunch of storage boxes on top of that. In fact, now would be a good time to go back down the mine and actually figure out what we're going to be bringing up here. And we can use my handy elevator to do that, so let's go down to the next floor down and figure out what we've got on here. That's the workshop. We don't need anything from there. The next floor is the cobble generator, and I think it would be nice to start collecting some cobble. What have we got on the next floor down? We've got soul sand. Again, something useful to have, but not really in high quantities on its own. Although this thing is constantly overflowing, so I guess it would make sense to move some off to the storage area. And also the clay. The clay's a useful thing to have, but I don't know how I'm going to get that out of here and onto the train without some significant changes to this room. Although what I could probably do is just dig a little bit of a hole underneath this and have another little storage interface coming up the other side and disguise it in the wall wall. The next section down, of course, is our quartz processing area, which we have none of. We need to get the gold out of here. This is all backed up with cobble. We want andesite up there. I would like diorite as well, but we're just not producing enough of it to steal from this area, so that can be a task for another day in another place. And finally, we've got this area here, which I've already emptied out and taken all the resources from. Again, I would like tuff, but we're just not processing enough of it to take some of that away from the metal processing machine. Although, oh, we are overstocked. How has this happened? How have I got 8,000 diorite here and 20,000 andesite here? Because that should have been being... What? How has the andesite run out? But what? Something's not right. But I guess for now, I know exactly what we're going to be bringing down here, so it's time to go back up that elevator. Oh, that's going to be a bit tricky. I'll go the long way round. Now, I do need to take one of each of these out of these so that I can actually go and filter the train. I need some gold nuggets as well. And then, sir, I'm going to need your schedule back so that I can make some significant changes, my friend. The other thing I'm going to need to do, sir, is disassemble your train, because I now need to fiddle with your toolboxes, which should be behind those little flaps there. They're not flaps, they're kind of like flaps. Not. So this toolbox is going to collect all of our metals. It's going to move those nuggets around and grab us some clay. And then I've just stuck that in there for taking up a slot because we don't need that one. This one's going to carry on doing what it was already doing. And that means this one can carry on what it's already doing as well, because we've now got slots for everything. So let's reassemble the train. So bringing the train back down to our little soul sand area then, that should give me an idea of where I need to be on this side to link up with one of those so I can sneak that clay in. And it really shouldn't be too difficult, although I've put all of my stuff in the way, which isn't ideal. We just need one of those there and one of those there. There we go. So now we've attached to that, we can put clay in on that side. So all I've got to do is get clay out of there, underground, and into there. How hard could it be? What could possibly go wrong? We'll start by breaking that so we can put a hopper or a chute into the floor. And we're just going to go all the way across here to the point where we reach the other side. We're going to need an encased fan there with some chutes on top to blow the items up there. And then we need to get the items into that chute. Oh, and it's taking stuff off the train. Well, that's fine. That doesn't matter for now. I can bring a little bit of belt all the way across this room over here somewhere, kind of, sort of. And then just put some more chutes onto that belt. So now the clay is going onto there. We just need power. And this doesn't need to go particularly quickly. So that means we can probably just steal a little bit of this power, considering it's already there. So we'll throw in a chain drive there, get that bit going. Then if we extend the belt that way slightly, we can throw a gearbox in there, which will get that bit going. And now that's all being sent over to this point here. We can stick a funnel on there to send those into these chutes, and then we just need some power underneath this fan to get it to blow upwards. Bring that across there with a little bit of chain drive, and then another little gearbox, and hopefully that'll blow upwards. Nope, that's pulling it downwards. Of course it is. Why would it go the direction I want? Well, there we go. We're now transporting clay all the way up into the train. We can disguise this when we come to decorating this part of the mine shaft, and that means we can now move on to the next area and figure out how we're going to be dealing with all of this stuff. So first of all, I'm going to need a list filter with the ingots we want to remove from this thing, and I'm going to put that into this little funnel there, which I've got on the back of a little storage interface, which is connected to this little storage system, which I've just switched round into the opposite direction because I didn't like how it was facing, so you can now sort of see it as you come past. I do want to wrap this in something, and I'm thinking girders just to make it look a little bit better. I think that works. And now all I need is a bit of power to these belts in order to get those going off and onto the train. The closest power we've got is actually already over at this point here, so I think I'm just going to take some chain drive, bring it down this wall at this point here and spin that round. And now I think we're good to go for all of the items going to the train. All we've got to do is get them dropped off back upstairs. And here we are back at the storage drop-off. So if I stick you back on there and give you your schedule back, is it going to do all the things I need it to do? Let's go follow it and find out. Very good. Cobble is collected. Might struggle dropping that off at Soul Sand because I think Soul Sand's pretty much full at the moment. We'll find out. Yep, Soul Sand is full of cobble, so he's going to struggle here. So he's picked up a bit of clay, as much as he can, I believe. So now he should drop off a whole bunch of Soul Sand here, which is all going to get processed into quartz and diorite and andesite, which is fantastic. Fantastic, so that's working. Now we should pick up the andesite and diorite. Now he's off to drop that off for our tuff making process. So we're going to come to zinc collect next, but on his way back, because he's got no soul sand or diorite or andesite, I actually want him to take a bunch of that to the top as well. So we're going to have him come back up this way and hopefully collect some more. And that means I think I'm going to need another station for this one here. Call that andesite collect reverse. Then he's going to come back this way, and because he's got no soul sand on his way down there and there's so much of it in there, we're going to have him collect some more soul sand on the way back as well, which means we need another station. We'll call that soul sand collect reverse. Now you should be able to go to the top and drop all of that good stuff off. And a few minutes later, we've got a bit of power, and as you can see, some items are already coming out. All I've done is made a hole down here underneath everything, squirreled some power around with some shafts and gearboxes and chain drive, and brought that up to each of the individual, well, bits that need power. And those all are powered all the way up till this point here, which point we need some more chain drive to take those into the buildings there. And then inside the buildings, we just need to power these little conveyors here, which means adding a little bit more to each side, adding a conveyor there, and another one at this point there. And then all I need to do is stick an andesite funnel on there and one on there, and then connect this to that. And I would like to disguise all of this a little bit. So what I think I'm going to do is actually bring this trim up here along the top, bring it round to the side here, and have it come over the top of these, and then we can maybe make some sort of wall out of trim. But as you can see, all of the items have now gone into there, and they're all in our little system. Now, these are all going to need capacity upgrades on, which we'll sort out in a few minutes, but for now, we'll just concentrate on getting this all finished off. Because on the outside, it's looking okay, but it's not looking great, especially with these things just sticking out of there like that. And I think some girders can help us out with this. So if I was to, for instance, bring a girder across there like that and have those go onto the wall a little bit, we could probably bring that a little bit further down actually, and then bring that down the side of this door here like that, and that makes everything feel a little bit more substantial there. But the points where the conveyors go into the rooms, I actually want a couple of copycat slabs just to make that hole look a little bit smaller. Just like that there. I don't like this gap here. And I think we can make that look a little bit more industrial, just having one of those there, even though it doesn't need to go there. I kind of like that. Something a little bit like that. And then maybe even bring one of those across there with a bracket on, and another one across here with a bracket on, for no reason other than I think it just looks a bit better. I don't think these need supports underneath them, but I am actually tempted to throw a few more girders down, possibly around about this point here, going up into that there, and that same one going into that one there, and then bringing those across. In fact, if I get rid of those altogether, does that work how it is? I think I would like a few more barrels dotted around just to sort of fill this up a little bit, so let's just chuck a couple here like that, and I might stick a couple more just over here as well, and that kind of works. It feels quite messy, but I kind of like it. So that's our offloading system done. And that means it's time to sort out this room in here, and I think I'm going to bring that trim round there to finish that off, and bring this trim round here to... I've run out of trim. And then we just need to deal with this bit that's coming across here. So let's again just absolutely encase this in all of that trim so it kind of matches. That's not awful, I don't think. This whole thing's still looking a little bit weird. So, taking a little bit of time out from decorating, I've been here in my workshop pressing a whole bunch of iron in order to craft myself a whole 64 simple storage box capacity upgrades. And that means we'll be able to store a whole bunch in those storage boxes, and there's only a few little iron ingots left to be pressed. Come on, little bit more. And any second now, there we go. All of that's done. Then I've done a little bit of work on the inside, just sort of tidying up that upstairs bit. We've got a completely pointless back wall here just to finish things off, and then I've just put some girders around there and a second floor in here just to, well, make it fit a bit better. And as you can see, we've overflowed, which is exactly why I need these simple storage upgrades, so I can put a whole bunch of them in these. Yep, 4 in all of those. That's good. That's plenty. Each one of those can now hold 32,000 items, and if I squeeze a 5th one into each one of those can now hold 65,000 items. And if I put a 6th one in each one, which I think is probably a little bit overkill, to be honest with you, considering how expensive they are, We can hold 131,000 in each one. I don't think I need that many in storage. And in order to make sure that we don't have any more overflow issues, i.e. items not being able to come in, I'm going to put a void upgrade on every single one of these, which might make you be screaming in the comments, oh, what a waste of all those good materials. If I've got 65,000 of each one of those things in there, do I need any more? So that's our little storagey bit inside. This bit done, we've got absolutely nothing going on in here. I don't even know what to put in there. We've got no access to that upstairs bit. So that means it's time to go back downstairs and figure out what we're going to be putting on this display board. And I want that to be all sorts of things to do with the train. And in order to use a display board, I need display links, which I can craft using brass casings, redstone torches, and copper sheets. So let's have a bunch of those. Let's just have 9 apparently for now. And then all we need to do is click on our display board and then pop it on something. And the first thing I'm going to pop one on is our station. And then on that, I can tell it what I want. So I want the train station summary or the train schedule status would be good. And if we have that online too, and go over to our display board, is it not powered? It is powered. Why is it not working? Maybe train schedule is not a good thing to put on there then. Okay, that one? Then we get something on there. Why didn't that one work? Will it do it now that the train's here? There we go. Cargo idle for 5 seconds. That's not very useful. Basically, what I want to do on this board is just find out where the train is and and how long it's going to be before it gets back to this station. And I'm pretty sure the way you do that is to link it to the station. But it doesn't seem to be doing anything, but maybe that is because the train is far away. Okay, so a few minutes later, after fiddling around with this control system, I now have 30 seconds mine tram, mine cob. I'm assuming that means it's going to be 15 seconds before it gets here, and that means it's arriving now. So that's something, I guess. And now it's telling me that the car goes idle for 5 seconds, and I guess once he's finished here, that should change again. However, he's not going to be able to go anywhere because I stopped him from going anywhere while I fiddled with this display link. And now it's gone again. Oh, this is so useless. Platform column size? Oh, well, let's put the track back together and see if anything else comes up on the screen. But I'm a little bit disappointed that it's just blank most of the time, which is really not ideal. Because I've watched Mr. Beardstone's videos and he's always got interesting information on his trains. A little while later, and I have now decorated the inside of this building. As you can see, we've got some piles of barrels, some bookcases, some plants, some tables, some mugs, and all sorts of little things like that just to bring some life into this place. We've got a track switching thing, which does absolutely nothing. We've got a little desk for the person that's going to be controlling this system in here with some levers and buttons and a display link on there just for decoration. And if we go through here, we've got another little plant in here. We've got some tables and things like that in this bit here just to fill out the space, I suppose. And then upstairs there's a couple of things I've done as well. I've added another little shelf and some flower pots here with a little rug in front of that to finish that little area off. And through here I haven't really done anything in this room other than put a rug down and put some fences on that back wall just to fill in some space. And then through here, I've done a little canteen for the people that work at this storage building. We've got a little kitchenette area here with some wall cupboards on there, and we've got another couple of little nightstands with a flower pot, some more carpet, a little bench with some mugs and things on, a couple of paintings. We've even got blinds on here. And while all that's been going on, we have been collecting a little bit of stuff up through our system, but I still haven't figured out how to do this train display board. So I think it's about time I called Mr. Beardstone and found out exactly what I'm doing wrong. Hello, Miss Beardstone.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. So the train, when it's at the very last station, right, it will come up on the screen and it'll tell me that it's 45 seconds away and count down until it gets here. The station is here. I've got a couple of display links on it, one saying train station summary and the other one train schedule status, which does nothing at all until it's here, and then it just says cargo unloading. And then but once it gets here, as you can see, it's on its way now. It drops off its stuff. So if we go in there, it'll say, oh, cargo idle for 5 seconds is what it says. That doesn't make any sense. Mine tea, mine cobble coal. And then once it's finished...
Bit of a mouthful, yeah.
Yeah, it just disappears. So it's telling me it's going there now, but once it's gone, there we go, that's it. And that's what I get until it gets to the very last station before it's coming here again. Which is useless, right. Mr. Beardstone. And I've seen your videos, and in your videos, you've got all sorts of, it's going to be 20 minutes, come in, and this, that, and the other. What am I doing wrong?
Show me your display links. I might have mine on a different setting. It's been so long since I've done it though. So
I've only got
it's
2
been trial and
settings
error.
available. I got train schedule status or train station summary, and then that's it.
Right. I don't know, Foxy. This might be one for the comments. You can have everyone screaming at us both in the comments because it'll be something really obvious and simple that we're both missing. But yeah, I haven't messed with trains and display links for like 6 months. I can't remember.
But you're Mr.
I mean,
Train links and display things.
I don't see why that wouldn't work though.
You would think like the schedule status one would be like, oh, it's doing this at the moment, right? And the summary thing. I mean, this station name filter
I don't
because
think
it's
I ever used schedule status. I think I only ever had one. I only ever used the train station summary, I think. What line is... So that's on line 2. Show me the other one.
line 3.
Okay, just move that down to line 4. Or whatever, just like further down.
Okay, do I need to... I'll take that off and do that again because I changed it. So click on that, right? Yeah?
Yep.
And I go over here and I stick it on there and I click on that and it's all there already. So I'll put it on line 1. There's nothing on line 1. And I just get a dot.
Just wait for your train, I guess. See what happens.
Okay.
Because I also use like clipboards to put extra words on, like arriving and stuff like that. But I'm sure I just used the same setting that you're on.
So it's done the circuit now. It's on its way back, but it should be showing on the screen now that it's there because it's gone past its last station before it gets to this one. So there you go. Look, mine train, mine cobble.
Okay, so I'm assuming the train is called Mine Train
Yeah.
and Mine Cobble is the station.
Well, this one's called storage drop off. So that doesn't make sense either.
So that's saying where it's going to next.
Okay. And then it's gone again.
No, it's gone. And then and then it's gone again. I don't know. You're on fabric, aren't you?
Yeah. I bet it's a fabric thing.
I blame fabric.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Maybe the comments know stuff.
Yeah, comments. Let me know, because I don't know, and clearly Mr. Beardstone, expert create level 99 person, has no idea. So,
I haven't got a clue. No.
So, oh well. Oh, that's that then, I guess. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
No worries. Glad I could help. But I might have to get you over to my theme parks soon as well to do some ride testing.
Yes. Hey, wait a minute. Ride testing? That sounds dangerous.
I'm sure it'll probably be fine.
Probably be fine. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
I look forward to receiving the call.
Okay. Do I just put like a fox head up in the sky or something like?
Yeah. They'll put the fox symbol on, and I'll look for it at night time. And when I see it, right, I'll know.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's your time to shine.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Cheers, buddy.
I'm just going to keep looking, Mr. Beardstone.
Yeah. Good luck with your train schedules or whatever display boards.
Cheers. Thank you.